Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Sitting right next to me, to my right, probably your left, is the new to my channel car or vehicle. Probably not what some of you guys are expecting me to show you, but nonetheless, it is for the channel and I will be making more videos on it. But it's probably, not what you're hoping for. So like many car people, I'm kind of always thinking of the next vehicle. It's weird. I'll be on Instagram and I'll see somebody post something. I'm like, wow, I really like that. I'll go to a car show and see something completely different. Be like, wow, I really like that. Sometimes I'll get into this thing where, I'm gonna buy something old and fix it up. Step by step and show you guys the progress, and then I'll see something that's already done, somebody already did the work and the price I feel like is fair, and I'm like, man, maybe I should buy that. So I am all over the map when it comes to vehicles, and I had thought about this for a while and then it kind of like faded away, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, wow, I really think I need to pursue this avenue, a vehicle for my channel. So without further ado, let's present to you the new vehicle for 315 Squared. So this is my new to me 2004 BMW Z4. You might be thinking to yourself, why a Z4 when the channel mainly focuses on autocross vehicles? Why wouldn't I buy like an old Mustang or truck to upgrade an autocross? And that would be a valid question, and one I hope to fulfill one day. I'd like to buy something and fix it up in stages for you guys, and also for me to autocross. I'm not, even though I cover it, I'm not a very good autocrosser, not a very good driver. I've done it in my truck a few times just for fun, but I'm not competitive in any sort of matter. So I hope one day, as this channel gains more popularity, to do something like that. But this car I did buy for the channel. So why a BMW Z4? Well, I can explain that. So a few years back, my parents gave me their Toyota Spider convertible as I had purchased a new Mustang. They thought I'd like it because it could be like a quote-unquote good autocross car, a platform similar to a Miata, but just not as good. So something that I could learn as I go. And I'm very thankful that they thought of me and thought of that car for me. But I gotta be honest, that car is hideous. The third generation Toyota Spiders are the worst out of any other generation of Spiders. So physically, I just could not get past the looks of a Toyota Spider. I still can't. I've seen some customized and they just don't look good, in my opinion. So that was not going to work for me. And the other thing that wasn't going to work for me is that it was a manual. And although that's fun to drive, the problem I quickly found is that not a lot of people can drive manuals anymore. So I was doing a photo shoot with the Spider for Jay. I'll put his link up above or in the comment section. Anyways, he had a Chevelle that we were shooting. We were doing rollers in, so I had the Spider, and luckily his friend could drive a stick, because if not, then there's no way I could be driving the Spider and then also be taking the photos. So that was something that when I was looking for a camera car, I was like, all right, it has to be automatic because I want that vehicle for anyone to jump in, whether it's the wife or the girlfriend or it's his buddy or even my friend's son. If I need him to drive, they got to be able to drive the car. So having a manual convertible was out of the question, just mainly for that alone reason. I needed just anybody that could jump in and drive it. So the decision was made that it had to be automatic. Initially the Z4 was not first on my list. I had been looking at the Pontiac Solstice, the GXP model, and the Saturn Redline Sky. So those were initially what I started to look at, and I test drove a few. You know, the styling's not everybody's taste, but I don't think they're that bad. That's just my opinion. I've seen some customized that look pretty well. You know, they look pretty nice. But the problem I quickly noticed after watching, you know, other video reviews on YouTube and just in person was that when the top is up, there was barely any cargo space at all. But then when the top went down, it occupied whatever empty space you had. And I carry, you know, a bag, a camera bag, a GoPro bag, another bag worth of just miscellaneous camera gear. And then if I'm driving to California or something like that, you know, I'm gonna have a bag, you know, with clothes and all that stuff as well. So I wanted something that had some storage space. I'm not, you know, obviously it's convertible, it's not gonna have a ton, but I needed something that was way more than the Solstice or the Sky provided. So yeah, so those cars were out. Now, I could have bought an automatic Miata, but that's like marrying a supermodel and having her wear a onesie every day. Like, why bother? So this led me down the trail of the Z4s. As with the Spider, I don't like the look of the Z3s, so those were out immediately. But the Z4s, I actually like the look of it. Even the few friends that have seen the Z4 still make fun of me and you know, thinks that it's a girly car. But for me, I actually dig the styling of the Z4. I guess it's not for everybody, but I think it has more character than, you know, a Porsche Cayman. Not a Cayman, that would have been a little bit above what I wanted to spend, but a Boxster. And I don't know, I've never owned a BMW before, nor a Porsche, but I don't know, there was something about the Z4 that I like the looks of it a lot, and I've seen some, you know, done with some tasteful mods, and I don't know, I think they hold up. You know, ideally I could have spent a little more and got the hard top, but because looks wise I think they look so much better than the soft top. But again, you're probably, I don't know, maybe another 10 grand, and that was just something that I didn't need to spend, and I kind of liked having the soft top for ease of use, you know, for, again, these run and go, you know, photo shoots. So the soft top actually works for me. If it was like more of a daily or just, you know, a car that I wasn't going to be doing a lot of photos and videos from, then I probably would have went with the hard top. So the search for a Z4 started, and I really wanted a well taken care of car, a car that was in no accidents. I didn't really care about the miles so much as long as it was, you know, a clean car that didn't have any issues. And well, if you read Facebook Marketplace or some Craigslist ads or even OfferUp, you know, they all seem to say that they rolled off the showroom floor and that they're in pristine condition. That is until you roll up on it and the interior plastics are broken. I had one with a transmission wouldn't downshift. The paint is faded, or, you know, the roof doesn't go down or doesn't go up. So I ran into a lot of that, and they were still wanting like a relatively more than I think the car is worth, what they were asking. A lot of them were like, oh, I'll go down, because they knew I had issues. But you know, I didn't want to get into that trap and spend a whole bunch of money fixing somebody else's mistakes. So I was starting to get a little bit discouraged, because everything I've looked at just wasn't what it said it to be. So so anyways, this particular one that you see right behind me showed up on Craigslist. There was a bunch of pictures. It was low miles. I can't think of what the miles is right this time, but obviously I'll show you. The top worked, it goes up and down. and it was fully loaded. So power seats, I think it has like 6 function power seats, leather seats at that, power windows. It has an outdated navigation system. That's kind of, it is what it is. But overall, like as soon as I walked up to the car, like I knew that I was probably going to be buying that car just because of how clean it was. Like I said, most of the stuff that I looked at was complete junk. So this is how you see it now, is how I bought the car. The only thing I did change is I put Michelin Pilot Sports on the car, because when I bought it, it had the run flats. And if anyone's driven a car that has the run flats, it's like driving a lifted truck on bias ply tires. I mean, it just, if there's a crack in the road, it'll just pull you to that crack until it finds another crack and pulls you over to that crack. So that was one of the things, like right out of the box, I needed to change to make it a better driving car. And I'm glad I did, because the car handles so much better with the Pilot Super Sports on there, or Pilot Sports. I'll have to double check that, but I think they're just regular Michelin Pilot Sports. But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, as you see it, I have not done anything to the car. I mean, that's gonna change. I'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, this is how it was when I got it, and I'm definitely happy with it. So the things that I like about this car, again, are its styling. I still think it's a good looking car, even for an 04. It handles very well. I think that's, again, because of the previous owner took care of it. It's very quiet for a convertible, which, I mean, the Spider that I had was not. It was very loud. That's really the only car I can compare to as far as the sound quality, or the lack thereof sound in a convertible. But it's probably due to the build quality of the BMW why it's so much quieter. So I'm very, very impressed with the lack of wind noise in the car. Again, the power top works like it should. I think the Spider that I had was a manual top. I was kind of not torn, but I wasn't looking for a car that had a power top, just because I know when they break, you know, it's not going to be cheap to fix. But this car, like I said, was fully loaded, and I've had no problems with the power top yet. So you know, it works as it should. It's very clean. It's not ripped. It shows very well. Again, this car was a garage, so it was just well taken care of. So surprisingly, this car gets relatively good gas mileage. I've been averaging around 27 miles per gallon. Again, that's mostly highway, and I don't have a heavy foot. But that's just something that I've been pleasantly surprised by. Again, the trunk space has been more than adequate for my needs. That was definitely number 2 on the bucket list, if you will, of must-haves. And I've taken this car to California, I've taken it to Vegas in the short time I've owned it, and been able to put all my camera bags and overnight bag in the trunk and with no issues. So that's worked out perfectly fine. As ugly as they may be, the seat covers, I've left them on. I don't really care for the red and black color scheme. But again, I wanted to preserve this car as far as the cleanliness of it, so I've just left them on because I don't want to get them kind of used and abused. It even has these really tacky BMW headrest covers that I've yet to take off. I might have to take those off because those are seriously, I don't know, when you look at them, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. When I don't realize they're there a lot of the time when I'm driving it, but then when I go in to look at the car, I'm like, oh man, these are awful. Or anyone, if I, whatever, if somebody happened to be looking at it, they would probably be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, BMW love fan, but which is not me. It's just, again, I'm just protecting the car, and the previous owner already had them on there, so I'm just leaving them on. So a few things I don't like about the car in the short time that I've owned it is that it takes premium fuel. I just filled up the other day and it was $4.29 a gallon. I knew I'd be using premium, but I do wish it took 87 just to, on the price point of it all. Like I hate paying for premium fuel, but that's just me. The radio situation sucks, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of BMWs fall into this category. You can't really swap out the radio for an aftermarket unit without like heavily modifying the dash, and that's something that I also didn't want to do. So kind of like my workaround is I got a Bluetooth FM transmitter that plugs into the cigarette lighter, and then you set your radio station to the desired channel, and then you could use your Apple or your Android phone to listen to Bluetooth. There's a little static, seems to be more at lower volume, so I just turn it up and it seems to go away. So that has been a lifesaver for me, just because I was like, man, I was gonna go to a stereo shop and see what kind of like custom, one-off thing we could do for the radio situation. But actually, this has worked out for my needs. Again, it's just, I don't drive it every day, but I definitely needed Bluetooth on some of my trips. I just recently got it, and the first time I drove to California, I just put some earbuds in and I did that, but I don't like driving with earbuds in my ears. And then the second time when I drove it to Vegas, I had bought like a, I don't know if it's JVC, but a Bluetooth wireless speaker. So I just laid that in the passenger seat and was able to listen to my music that way. That was all fine and good. It actually lasted the 5-6 hour drive that I had, so it never died. The only problem with it is like in the mountains when I couldn't connect, I was kind of radio silent there for a while. But other than that, radio situation, if you have a vehicle like this, or maybe even an old vehicle, I would definitely look into a Bluetooth wireless transmitter. The plastics, they do feel cheap inside, I must say. Again, it's an 04, so I realize the car has some age to it. They're not broken, but they just feel cheap. The center console, kind of like the waterfall console, I think they call it, was broken when I bought it. So I actually bought an aftermarket replacement. I just haven't installed it yet. I'm not a fan of the wood grain inserts. Some of them had like aluminum, and I like that a hell of a lot better. So I'll probably swap that out for some carbon fiber or aluminum inserts, or polished aluminum. The cup holders are also very cheap, plasticky. I almost don't like using them because I feel like they're gonna break and then I'm gonna have to replace the cup holder. But in a pinch, I do use them. They just they're not straight. So when you put a drink in, they kind of like lean to the side. So definitely get a drink that has a cap to it. If you get like a can of soda or something like that and you hit a bump, it's just gonna completely get all over the floor, get all over yourself, be a sticky situation, and that's something that you definitely don't want to have and obviously avoid. So I did opt to buy the 3.0 double overhead cam inline 6 that puts out 225 horsepower and 214 pounds of torque in a car that weighs roughly 3,000 pounds. From everything that I read or watched on YouTube, if you're gonna buy a Z4 from this era, the 3.0 is definitely the engine you want. As far as future plans for this car, I think they'll probably be mostly cosmetic. I already ordered some new wheels that haven't arrived yet, as of this filming anyways, and I've also ordered a few cosmetic things for the car just to change it up a little bit. I've seen some like wide body fender flares that kind of like have a riveted look on the rear and on the front that I really like. I just haven't been able to find anyone online that sells them. I think, is it Rocket Bunny? No, it's not Rocket Bunny. Liberty Walk. Somebody makes a kit for this car, but it's like $5 grand because it comes with like a front bumper and spoiler and side skirts and, you know, something for the rear. So I'm definitely not spending $5 grand on, you know, a wide body kit. But if I could just find like, and I want to do fender flares. I just kind of like to widen the rear and the front fenders just a little bit. So maybe I'll do that down the line if I can find something relatively cheap. If you guys know of anything or know a company that makes something like that, you know, that I might be interested in, just definitely send me a link down below because I'd be interested in doing something like that. As far as the horsepower aspect of it, I've had a few friends tell me that not to go like the dining route. I was gonna do like an intake and a throttle body and you know, air cleaner, but from what I was told, basically for the money it's not worth it. So you're not going to get a ton of horsepower for what you're going to spend. So I think for now I might do a cold air intake, maybe from like K&N or something like that, but overall the engine's going to stay stock. Same with the exhaust system. Again, the primary goal of this car is just to be a film video car, so I don't want to put an aftermarket exhaust and have my camera mounted in the rear, and now it's just picking up the drone from my exhaust. So the whole point is to pick up the exhaust from the other car. So yeah, so as far as the exhaust noise, it's going to be stock. I'm not going to mess with that at all. I've been playing around the idea of maybe getting a splitter for the front. Doesn't need it, but just to change up the looks a little bit. And really the only other thing I've contemplated is either doing a full wrap or some partial like wrap graphics, maybe like a couple lines down the middle or side or something like that. Like, I need to do more research on like what I like, and you know, maybe go on Pinterest or something like that and kind of like just browse and see like something that really hits me that I want to do, because I do definitely want to change the look of it just a little bit. I think the wheels will be a huge step in that part. I mean, they're not going to be anything extra out of this world. It's going to be a standard, you know, upgrade, but it'll definitely change the look of this car in my opinion. But other than that, I mean, really the plan is it just to use it as I bought it for, just to be a you know, shoot rollers out the side and film video from it while somebody else drives it. So I've had a few people already drive it already, and the good thing about this car, obviously I'm not a tall person, but it's relatively roomy for somebody, you know, 6 feet and taller. So I've had multiple guys over 6 feet get in the car, and that was with the roof up and they fit. So again, that's not an issue for me, but if you were someone looking for a Z4 and you were on the taller side, these cars actually have a lot of headroom for you. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it in a nutshell. Again, just I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe, please comment, please share. I will definitely do more, you know, videos on this car as little upgrades allow themselves, and then obviously I'll be continuing doing the focus of 315 squared, which is like, you know, the pro touring type of cars and trucks that you guys like so much. So yeah, so anyways, hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.